mini spotlight event is bringing the Super Yeti back to Clash of Clans. If you guys remember the last time the Super Yeti was in game, it absolutely broke things, but it has been nerfed. We're going to talk about it, talk about how it's still usable, but I wanted to quickly show off the mini spotlight event because unless you're buying the mini event pass, it's not overly exciting. Don't get me wrong, there's some cool things in here, like a lot of resources, a couple clan castle cakes, but if you want any of the rewards that are really meaningful from the trader, you need to buy that mini event pass for, I believe, $3 from the shop. Now, if that sounds like a good proposition to you, which I mean, sceneries at a $3 discount isn't bad, do me a favor, click on that C and enter code BASH. But we've seen this with these mini spotlight events. They're not necessarily super free to play friendly. I mean, we can get like some super potions and research potions and stuff like that, but the big boy rewards in there, the sceneries and the runes and even that sacred gate, you will need the mini event pass to be able to purchase those. But the exciting thing is, the Super Yeti is back. And if you remember, what made these guys super OP was that all the Yeti mites were nerfed down to one housing space. So we were just cloning Electro Yeti mites all over the place and just destroying bases left and right. Now the Electromite is going to be 3 housing space. So we're not going to be able to do that crazy clone and get just so many of these Electromites on the base. But that doesn't mean that the Super Yeti is going to be bad. Quite the opposite. I think the Super Yeti is going to be super good. Let me show you a few attacks you can use using the Super Yeti while it's here in game. Oh yeah, if you end up liking these guys, they're going to be staying after the mini medal event. So they will be a permanent fixture after this event is over. We just get them free for 7 days. One way I've been enjoying these Super Yetis is just a straight up ground and pound attack here. We're gonna go in with mass Super Yetis and just crush on through this base. This is an awkward double invis base, so we're gonna use a log launcher to go ahead and set those off, but we're pretty much just gonna go ahead and use this how I'd use like the Super Yeti whiz bats and just use a Super Yeti on either side here and just let them start working in. I'm gonna go ahead and deploy the skeleton spell early because we're gonna full send from there. All right, so we're gonna get all of our Super Yetis in, we're gonna get all of our heroes in, and we're gonna go right up the middle here. All right, guys? So we're gonna just push right up through the middle of the space. Then I'm also gonna go ahead and quad quake and open all this up. Then I'm gonna go ahead and send in this headhunter right here. I'm gonna rage and I'm gonna warden ability just to protect everything as we're working to the middle of this base. Now the goal here is to let that king go ahead and open up that second layer of walls there, which he should be good. I forgot to put in the poison spell there. No problemo, we should be fine. We'll go ahead and we'll open that up with the king, allowing everything to work into the middle. We'll go ahead and drop in our next rage spell. We can even bring in our real champion to accompany everything as we work our way towards the town hall. I'm gonna go ahead and rage right in through here, and then we are looking really good. I'm gonna go ahead and drop a freeze in there. Queen's looking fine. I'm gonna go ahead and pop the queen ability so we can get that giant puppet out along with more queens on the board. And then we're just gonna crush right on through here, guys. We got Super Yetis everywhere. We got the world champion working. We got the queen in there. And honestly, I think this should work at all town hall levels. I think mass Super Yeti spam should be pretty good. I haven't experimented with it. I've been focusing on town hall 17 because honestly, I want to try some of these armies in Legends. You guys know I like using these style armies in Legends League, but I wanted to come with this one first because it felt the most obvious. Just straight up Super Yeti spam. Go ahead and we'll pop off the hog puppet and we're good through there. What do we have? 4 or 5 Super Yetis still up. That's pretty good. Out of the 9 we brought, plus 1 in the CC, that's not too shabby. Also, as far as hero equipment, this is what I was using there, just in case you're curious. I don't remember if I showed that or not, but let's go ahead and let's check out another army. All right, let's try to cheese it up a little bit here. 17 dragons, 4 clones, and a rage spell. Now, you do need to make sure your clone spell is a high enough level that you can clone up 35 housing space, because that is how much the Super Yeti inside of our battle blimp, if I could click it, is going to need to clone. Here's all of our other equipment. Pretty straightforward attack. We're just going to go in like so. We're going to hit the queen ability. Just go ahead and take out that sweeper, and then we're going to full send in here with some dragons. Okay, you with me, guys? It doesn't get much more simple than this as far as dragon attacks can go. Now, we could definitely show off like a, you know, real champion dive into dragons, into this, into that. But I thought this would be the most fun, simple way just to have some a good time with these Super Yetis out of a clone blimp. We got the Electromites in there, and look at that. We just gut out the middle of this base. Now, obviously, we still have the royal champion yet to be deployed. We still have our queen working through here. And if you get that battle blimp in fast enough, you're just going to have a lot of support for the back end here because the queen's still going to work through. Look at this. We still have a herd of dragons. Yeah, guys, I think the Super Yeti troop with the kind of like blimp meta we have with the blimp Yetis and stuff, I think it's going to be really, really good. I mean, we don't even need the Royal Champion on this attack. Let's be honest with ourselves here. We don't need Royal Champion. We really don't. But we're going to put her in just to speed things up. We'll go ahead and we'll hit the Hog Puppet. I thought I put actually Rocket Spear on that. That's why I hit it right away. I forgot that it was Hog Puppet, but Rocket Spear will work. But yeah, you can see how this is going to work, right? The Super Yeti inside of a blimp, Super Yeti just smashing. These Super Yetis are going to be a force to be reckoned with when they come to Clash tomorrow. All right, so those are definitely my easy go-to armies, but since it's me, I have to be difficult, and I gotta try Super Yetis, Super Wizards, and Bat Spells. If you've been a fan of the channel for any length of period, you know I love Yeti Super Wiz Bats. One of my all-time, if not my all-time favorite strategy. So good, but it works at like 12, 13, 14, 15, sometimes 16, never at 17. So I'm gonna see if we can make this work. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start a little corner funnel here with the Yeti Super Wiz. We're gonna start a corner funnel down here, Yeti Super Wiz. Okay, nice. We're just gonna let them work for just a hot second. Just let them do their thing. And then once they kind of get working in here, get the funnel established, we can actually go ahead and deal with this queen right here. But we can go ahead and we can start bringing everything else in here. All right, King, Queen, Warden, all of this, Super Wizards, all through there. Honestly, we probably don't even need the Super Wizards, but for tradition's sake, because this is just traditionally what we use with this army, we got to stick with it, man. We got to stick with it. All right, so everything's working up there. Queen's working, King's working, everything's looking good. All right, we're in there. Let's go ahead and hit Warden ability to protect our log launcher there. Okay, good. I'm gonna wait to rage until we get into this compartment here, which we get right in there. Okay, nice. Let's go ahead and let's poison. There is a furnace in there, but that's okay. All right, Queen's working on the mono. Mono needs to go down. Perfect. Looking good so far. Get a couple Super Yetis going to the top side of the base. I'm a little bit worried about that merged multi defense, but honestly, the bats might be able to handle that pretty well. All right, where's our king? Our king is in the middle of things here. We're gonna go ahead and pop king ability just to open up these walls and try to get these multis down. Okay, I'm gonna actually freeze this. Pop queen ability so we can just get this giant out in front tanking. All right, nice. We get the scatter shot down there. This is stressful, guys. This is stressful. All right, I'm gonna bring Royal Champion from here. There's really no splash on the top side, so if the Royal Champion can tank all this stuff on the bottom, we should be fine, right? Will the bats set off the Giga Bomb? I'm worried about that. We're gonna find out right now. We could lose this attack if the bats set off the Giga Bomb. I'm honestly not sure if bats are enough. I know it's like housing space, right? But are the bats enough housing space to set off the Giga Bomb? We're gonna find out real soon here, chat. We're gonna find out real soon. At least all the bats aren't in there. Okay, no, they don't set it off. Hey, look at that, guys. We're gonna get through there. We're gonna make that work. Let's go ahead and let's freeze that king so we can take him down. Hey, Yeti Super Wiz Bats. That's cool. Super Yeti Super Wiz Bats. Man, I'm excited for this. This is definitely going to add to the meta, which I think we kind of need. The meta is kind of like dragons and roots right now. I think this is going to add a little bit of variety for us to use right now. So yeah, the mini spotlight event, not the most free to play, but I mean, we do get Clan Castle Cake and there's a lot of loot in here. So there's some good stuff in here if you're free to play. Don't get me wrong. But the bigger story here is we are getting the Super Yeti. I'm so excited.